got a minute? Wow. Hello, Feral friends, and welcome back to Feral. I'm your host, Savannah Montana, and today we have a very special guest in the house. She is the actual living proof that you can reinvent yourself at any point in time in your life. From Cuba to Venezuela to making it all the way to the United States, she has turned being a single mom, struggling, into being a self-made boss. She's fearless, she's feral, and she's flipping $1 million homes in South Florida wearing stilettos. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Rachel Licciardino. How are you, Rachel?
Great, fantastic.
Good.
Thank you for inviting me to your show.
Yes, thank you for being on the show. I'm so happy to have you. So we're going to talk a little bit about how Rachel, what her process was into moving to America, all the hoops that she went through, raising two boys, one that went to the United States Air Force and the other who ended up going to college. Then while she was living here, she ended up falling in love, getting remarried, and her life took another turn from there. And not so soon after that, she ended up being a huge real estate investor and becoming very successful. So we're going to touch on a lot of her reinventions throughout her life, and we're going to start from the very beginning. Give the audience a little bit of background for when you were growing up in Cuba. What did that look like? So you moved to Venezuela because your family won the lottery to be able to leave, because you're not just allowed to leave Cuba, right?
Indeed. Yeah, we won the lottery we was ready to come to America because they call like a family union. Mm-hmm. My dad was in New York at that time, and then we trying to get out of Cuba for different reasons. And then just the day that we trying to fly to America, something happens, then we have to fly to Venezuela.
Oh, so originally you were supposed to go to America, but it didn't work out, so you guys pivoted and ended up in Venezuela.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that happened to us. And then more things. In the airport, we have a big surprise. We are coming, my husband, my mother, and my old little boy. But for our surprise, at that moment, an official came to us and say, well, you are not able to go out of the country. And then I have two choices. Or stay forever in Cuba, because we lose the visa if we don't go that day. Mm-hmm. He can stay. And then he gave us like a second to take this decision. And of course, my choice was go to Venezuela. Doesn't matter what. We're looking for freedom. Mm-hmm. And then we came to Venezuela alone, my mother, my 2-year-old little baby, and myself. That day, my life was changed.
Yeah.
Responsibility was number one. And a woman of only 22 years old, that was hard. But with my faith, my love, and this responsibility that I've taken seriously this day, mm-hmm. I made it. And then we went to Venezuela, waiting for days, for years, finally to come to America. What a beautiful day when we received the notice that we can come to America. And then we came to America and as another new start. Because in Venezuela we was waiting, working, and more. And then we came to Miami.
When you were pivoted, you were originally supposed to go to America, and then mm-hmm. you guys ended up in Venezuela. What was that experience like? Because you were expecting to be in America, not be in another very similar country to Cuba. Mm-hmm. At that time, it wasn't in the shape that it's in now, but did that feel more like freedom, or did it feel more like survival? Because you were expecting America and you got Venezuela. So what was that experience having to pivot last minute and end up in a completely different country?
To be honest, was a huge experience because imagine I was prepared to go to America, and then we go to Venezuela. It's a different. I really appreciate and I never forget the hospitality that Venezuela gave us, and I will be very grateful all my life. But that was not the point. That was not our destiny. Even though we start a life there, because this process can be 2 years, 1 year, 5 years, or we don't know. But well, it was hard. That was the beginning. That was hard. But I always keep in my mind when I get my second children, when he was born in America. And then, we came to America finally.
What year was that?
That was, we came to ICE.
Yes. What was the year that you got welcomed into your citizenship to become a United States citizen?
That was 1990.
Okay.
1990. We was welcomed to come to America. And then that's the reason that Will was born in here. Mm-hmm. And we came, and what a happy time, what a happy day, what a beautiful, we breathe like a freedom, like we already got our dreams. And then it was a new start. In Miami, we work. The most hard part for me was the language. At that time, I only say yes or no.
Yeah.
That was pretty hard.
That's like me with Mima.
Exactly.
See? Oh no. That's it.
That was very, very hard. At that time, Miami was not like Miami today, but today that everybody speaks Spanish. At that time, most of the people speak English. And the English that I know is from street, from work. And one day I say, well, I have to talk. If I don't talk, I cannot provide food to my family.
Mm-hmm. So after you moved to the United States, you were here, you gave birth to your second son 10 years after your first son, right? So it would have been 1991. Did you conceived in Venezuela and moved here because you wanted to make sure that he was an American citizen, first generation, right?
I want to make sure
you were adamant
yes,
about that.
I want to make sure of that because in my life I wanted my oldest son born in America, but we couldn't.
But he got his citizenship in
yeah.
the United States Air Force because he served as an American.
We was welcome. We was welcome with residence, and after that we get the citizenship.
Great.
Before he went to the
Military?
The military, yes. Then being a single mother was not easy for me because I had my mom and my 2 kids. But well, I'm gonna start again.
What did the first few years look like for you? So the beginning, so your son, whatever age you want to choose, when you were in America and you were raising your second son and your older son was probably already off to the military, what was your experience like in the United States? The language barrier, what did life look like at the time? Where were you guys staying? Because you had your mother who's 20 years older than you, and you guys are, trying to make money, keep food on the table. Your husband isn't around because he's back in Venezuela, your ex-husband at this point, right? Mm-hmm. So what did life look like for you guys?
Well, it was a difficult times. To be honest, it was a difficult times. Thanks God, I have my mother. She helped me a lot with kids, and I always be grateful for that. Kids go to school. And then after, Mima take care of the kids until I get back home from work. And then that was basically life. I always provide food. I always provide a house that we call home as a family. one more time, the most difficult time for me was English. I couldn't go to school to study English. The government offered us for free to go to school and study English.
Oh, wow.
But I couldn't. I couldn't because most of the time I had two jobs. And then when you have two jobs, you have to provide, but also you have to give love to your family, the kids, the homework. So many things to do.
We're going to get to the fun parts later. So it's okay. And you can cry on the show. Will cried 3 times in his interview.
I almost cried in the
You
first
can cry.
one.
Yeah. Will cried, like, literally he cried 3 different times. You can cry. So did Sarah. Sarah got emotional on the show, too. Juan did. Every single guest that I've had has teared up on the show. The whole point is to be vulnerable and talk about your life. Yeah, and your experiences. And a lot of people's experiences in life are difficult. So it's okay to get emotional about them. It's your truth. It was the reality of your life. But you've overcome it, you know? You've come so far. You're not still in that place from however many years ago. Now you're, flipping multi-million-dollar homes, dripping in Versace, living in Boca, driving a Maserati. Life's looking great. You must have done something right, but because you went through all the hard times, that's what teleported you to get here, because that's what makes today so much more beautiful than the not so pretty parts, right?
Yeah. Today, I realized that I has been through difficult times. Probably at that time, I don't see that this is too hard. But today, I say, yeah, it was hard. Mm-hmm. But we learn. Always when I go to bed at night, I say, well, thank God for today. I have food for my kids. I have a house. And tomorrow we have another day.
So throughout your experience being on your own, being without a husband, having to take care of your mom who also helped you with the kids so that you could work 2 jobs and bring home the income to support your family, was there a time where you felt like giving up? Was there multiple times where you felt like giving up?
Well, I don't say that exactly, because over everything was my kids. And then I apply my love and my faith. And that made me feel like a power, enough power to cross every breach, every path, every way that it has to be. Yeah. No one stopped me. No one's. Years passed, and I switched job, and one day I opened my own business.
What kind of business? What kind of business was it?
That was marble and granite countertops. Mm-hmm. And then it was a small business. It was only 1,600 square foot. Later I jumped to the biggest place until I get married. Remarried. Life changed for me.
So what did life look like when you did get remarried? It was pretty extravagant in comparison.
Yes.
In the best kind of way. I mean, That's what we all look for, right? When we get married.
Before that, I would like to mention that I was very successful in my business. I built a new house for my kids, for my mom and I.
Wow. In Miami?
Yes, in Miami. I built a new home, 2-story, 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom, and that was my dream. That was my dream, provide to my family a nice, very nice house, and I did. And then at the time that everything was running beautiful for me, I met a man. And 2 years later, I got married with him. And then life changed extremely. After we married, we moved to Highland Beach, which is very close to Boca Raton, and I love the place. And we enjoyed time. Was at the beach. We enjoyed time. My kids enjoy a lot of time too. And life changed for the good. We travel a lot. Well, but after that, things was not going well, and then we decided to divorce. Talking about divorce, that was really, really stressful. I got depressed.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a very dramatic separation to get the divorce.
Mm-hmm.
But finally, I got it. And then it's another change in my life, another challenger too,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm alone again with my younger son, the oldest one at that time. He already studied. He came back from the military, he studied, and he has his career. But the youngest one as well, he was living with me. And then I'm alone again, and I start the life again. I have no business, I have no money, I have nothing.
Everything left with the divorce. And it was
Exactly.
just you, your mother, and your youngest son.
Indeed. And then one day I say, well, I had to do something with my life. I had been in difficult times, and I made it. And I'm studying real estate license, and I get that. After waiting 5 years for the divorce.
Wow.
And I remember going back to the depressed time. I remember that I was in depression because I cannot do anything to accelerate the process. I cannot work. I cannot do anything. And then I remember once my child came to me and say, "Hey, Mom, when we can have our mom back?" And I say, "How you mean? What do you mean with that?" Then they say, "When we can have the mother that was powerful, that was raising us, that was crushing every single thing that our life gave us. What is that mom?" I don't answer. I don't answer that question. But I did. I get off. I get off of this depression. And then that was when I took the decision to study real estate. And one more time, I proved to myself that whatever you want to do in life, talking for me, whatever I want to do in life, if you want to, you can. It was not easy to get the licensing for me. I failed 3 times.
Wow,
Because
really?
the
English was difficult for you.
English was difficult.
And they didn't allow you to take your real estate exam in Spanish back
Yeah, but
then?
I don't want to.
Oh, you wanted
Because
to
I was
know the
living in Palm
language.
Beach County. People talking English. We are living in America. I need to know English, at least to communicate.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. I think most people, especially Miami, not to shit on Miami, but a lot of people don't even know English and they live in the United States. There's a lot of places, and I'm sure you could vouch for this as well, and there's areas in Miami that people don't speak English at all. But you were determined to learn the language of the country that you had moved to. You didn't want to just know Spanish. You were adamant about learning the language and speaking it. So you were challenging yourself by taking those exams in English, not to make it easier on yourself, but to actually understand what the hell you were doing in real estate, which is important. I think that's amazing that you chose that. You could have gone the easy route and taken your exams in Spanish, but you chose against it. And eventually, you passed.
Yes, yes, I remember that day. And then I passed the test. Later, we had to go to the city to pass the city exam. But in the city exam, to be honest, was my first and my last. I passed the first time.
Amazing.
Yes. Then, talking about what did you say, I think if we are in America, as a respectful to Americans, we have to learn English. At least, if not perfect, but we have to communicate. And then when I get my license, I say, what is next? What is next? And then I did the process. At that time, Will came back from New York, and he started doing in the real estate business. Sorry. And then I get a few listings from him, and I'm gonna start moving, and I start paying my credit cards. I'm gonna start paying the debt that I have it. And I say, well, I want to stay here. I want to do something else one day. After ending 2016, one day he asked me, hey, Mom, I think you would be able to flip houses. And I say, do you? He said, yes, I'm pretty sure.
Especially because you had a marble business. So you used to, marble was being done in homes, and you already built your own home in Miami, and you covered that in marble too. So it's I'm going off here for a moment, but the things that you do in your life, they might not always last, but they were a part of your journey for a reason. So I think that your son was telling you, you could totally do this because you had picked up so many different skill sets by running your own business, having your own company, having clients, selling product, putting it in homes, that naturally rehabbing a home would totally suit you. And he wasn't wrong. But anyways, continue.
Yeah, you're right. I consider myself as a businesswoman.
You are. You are a very good businesswoman, yes.
I jumped to the marble and granite. I have a background in jewelry, to be honest, but this is another day.
Yes, wait, let's touch on that for a second. So how many different businesses have you had throughout the years, whether it's in Venezuela or in the United States? Just list off the different businesses that you have ran before you became a real estate investor.
Well, the first business that I ran was a bakery. After that, I have a jewelry store, jewelry business, huge jewelry business. And after jewelry business, I jumped to the marble and stone. Make something similar because stone and stone.
Diamonds, yeah.
Different stone, but in real estate.
Yeah. Then you worked for the DBPR at that point, but then you got into investing. So tell us about your experience when your son showed you the real estate and investing game and flipping houses. That opened your eyes to a whole different level of entrepreneurship.
I have more than a year experience working for a broker as a listing agent. And I saw this business good. And I say, one day I want to do better than this. And then I take the opportunity when Will says, hey, Mom, he trusts me. He inspired me. And I say, yeah, but I don't have money to buy houses. I don't have contacts to do anything. He say, I want to be for you 100%. What I know, I can teach you. And he provide me the house. He contact the hard money lender. He introduced me with them. He teach me how work with title company, with attorney. And then finally, he said, one day he called me and he said, hey, Mom, I have a beautiful house for you to flip, and I think you will be making good money. Prove yourself. And I say, okay.
Yeah, why not?
I only have $8,000 at that time, to be honest.
Not a big chunk of change to invest, but
Exactly, $8,000 is nothing compared with.
But it was a lot at the time for you.
But and then I have a good credit, and then I ask some store for store credit, and they make me $7,000 credit in their store,
Wow.
related with construction, reconstruction house, and things like that. And also, I went to Bank of America and I say, I'm gonna start doing a business, and I would like to have a credit card.
A business.
And then they gave me another credit card with I think it was $9,000 limited. And then I have a little bit.
So boom, you got
Money.
8, then you got 7, then you got 9. We got a nice little collection of cash coming in, some credit to use on this rehab.
Exactly, and then we'll talk to the lender, and the lender says, "Yeah, I want to give her, because it's your mom. I want to give her 85% of the money to buy the property." And I make this deal possible, and the house came beautiful. And then when everything was done, I sell the property fast. He says, "You did, Mom. Now you have to go for another 4." And one more time, he inspired me all the time because he trusts me. That made me feel huge inside. And then that's more or less how I start doing flipping houses. That's what I do. And I remember that my first house was $200,000.
Wow.
And last year, I flipped a house that's almost $2 million.
Wow.
That's called luxury.
That's a luxury property for sure.
And then it was raining a lot during the times, during the years, since 2016 until today. I don't remember how many houses I has been working with, but I'm enjoying my business. I'm enjoying the most worse is the house, the most that I like it, because it's a transformation
Yeah.
that
It's
you
beautiful.
can do.
Do you remember the biggest profit that you ever made on a real estate investment? Based on her smile, I'm going to say, yeah, she knows which one it was.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Tell us
I
a little bit
remember.
about that deal.
I want to tell you something before, and
Sure.
then you can compare.
Okay.
My first deal gave me $23,000.
Wow. But that's really good for
me,
your first
that
deal.
was amazing.
Yeah. And what
But,
year was that? 2017? No,
2017.
2017.
Ending 2017.
Okay, so
yes.
23,000, 2017 first deal. That was your first rip. Then your biggest one.
Yes. And then I say, okay, if I make $23,000, I think I can make 50. And I put like a target myself. I target myself. I had to do at least $50,000 in each deal. And I made it. But to answer your question, that was not immediately, right?
Right.
My biggest profit have been
247.
247. What do you say, 247,000?
That was that. Then that's what you profited off the deal.
Yes.
Yes. So your biggest deal, your biggest real estate investment, her biggest rehab, fix and flip. I'm naming all the names just so nobody can't figure out what we're talking about. Was $247,000 you made on one real estate property,
Indeed.
one fix and flip. And how many months did it take you to rehab the property?
That property take me like 35 days.
35 days. And how many days did it take you to sell the property to your buyer?
I sell this property the first day that I show. First client that I go in, I was doing an open house, and the first client, she bought the property, and to be honest, they offer $70,000 over the asking price because the house was so nice in the area and everything in the house, especially the house. And then that was like a multi-offer. and then it's called escalation. And then she offered $70,000 over the asking price, and that was why I make
$247. Wow.
$247,000. Yes.
That's amazing. And were they cash buyers or did they close in 30 days?
They was conventional, but they close in. They have a very, very high down payment, and then the bank was ready for them. I think it would close in 20 days, 22 days.
So in less than 60 days from the day that you closed on the property, you renovated the whole thing in 35 days, and then 20 days after that, you sold it and made $247,000.
Indeed, you're right. You're right. You're good with numbers. Yes.
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 A little bit. Not as good as your son with numbers, but
Well, I
I
know.
can hold my own. That's incredible. So what did that deal teach you? I mean, what did your first deal teach you? And then what did that deal teach you?
Well, the first deal teach me that I can do it. And it teach me a lot of things, a lot of strategies that you have to use when you do rehab. And I am the kind of person that I take every single thing and I keep in mind for good or for bad, but I keep in mind. I mean in the good things or the bad things. I keep in mind if it's the bad things,
Okay.
I try to not do that anymore. Let me see.
Yeah, you just try to learn from your mistakes.
Yes.
You take the good with the bad.
Thank you. Yes. And I am the kind of person that take about my mistake or about my good. That was basically the first deal teach me. And other deal, the big one, teach me that you have to get love for everything that you do. Also, you have to know where put your money, how much money you can invest, how much money you can put in this house. Because sometimes a lot of people put money, but the money is not coming back. Then you don't make money, and you don't want that. I don't teach in real estate here. I don't teach in flipping here, but more or less
Yeah.
to answer your question. And to be honest, I think I learned that if you have the best product and the best price, you sell this property immediately, which is good. And then you go for the next.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you could never do something like that in Cuba.
Oh, no.
You can't do anything
Oh, no.
like you can in
You
America.
cannot even imagine that.
No.
No.
And you couldn't talk about it.
You cannot talk about, you cannot talking about, not even, in my times, you are not allowed to say the word dollars or the words Americans.
You could get in trouble. You can get thrown in jail just for speaking about leaving
yeah.
Cuba
Yeah.
or speaking about an American or talking
Definitely.
about money. And everything was taken from you. Your guys' farm, your guys, everything was stripped from you.
Yeah,
in
my
Cuba.
grandparents were both sides. They immigrate from other countries, and they make very good in Cuba.
But then when the Castro regime took over,
Yeah, but after Castro, he took every single thing from my families, from many families in Cuba. That's why the immigration is huge. Nobody can want to leave on the island
no.
because people do not have anything. People do not have not even food, shoes, clothes, house, anything. Not even power.
No. Nothing.
I hear that they don't have power for weeks. This is devastating.
So it's pretty empowering for you to come from that and then investing in multi-million-dollar homes and making $247,000 on a single property. What a leap you've made from coming from that and creating this life for yourself and finding a place where you could actually do that.
Yeah, that's right. And
You knew you wanted to be in America since you were a little girl.
oh yeah, since that I was little, I hear my family saying that we have to get out from here because we have to jump to other country. We have to go to America, and that was in my blood. That was practically in my blood. And then I hear that, and when I have the opportunity, we left Cuba. Others had the opportunity before us, but finally we got our opportunity right in time. And I am grateful to be in America.
We're really happy to have you.
Thank you.
You're one of the good ones.
Thank you. I think it's we hear a lot people saying the American dream, the American dream, the American dream. It is true. It's many dreams that you are not allowed in other countries. You come to America, if you work, if you do well, your dream come true. And I feel thankful forever to be here in America and to see my kids as Americans doing many things in this beautiful country with this freedom. That's all that you need in life. Freedom.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing to dream.
And make your dreams come true. Like you have.
Yes.
So you're making your dreams come true. You've made your dreams come true in your family. Just to jump back to the real estate topic, you're kicking ass at being a real estate investor in a male-dominated industry. What is that like for you? Especially, not only are you an immigrant and into an American citizen, but you're also a female. So I've seen this woman work. I've flipped a house or two with her, and she is on it like a bonnet. She runs these contractors like nobody I've ever seen before. I know how successful you are, and I've seen you work in real time, but what is that like for you? What is that experience like? Because men try to push us around, so you don't allow that, though. You just keep it moving.
Well, at the beginning it was hard to, as a woman, start because I don't work with other women. All my crew is men's, except you, that we do this deal together. But you remember when and then you has to make your rules. You has to dress properly, and you has to win the respect from these men. When you get that, you can work very well. As a woman, was not easy to start working with all men. But I think I do well. I deserve respect because I respect others. And I do my job without doubt. I think I can do whatever is in my mind. I think I can reach the deal that I want to reach. And I love to teach others to do the same thing that I do, because I remember when I was learning, and will help me a lot. That was very important for me. And then sometimes people call me or people ask me how you did that, how you make this, and I am so happy to assist people with that kind of needs.
You've come a really long way, so I think you have a lot to offer. Anybody coming into the real estate game, or just women in life, you have a lot of experience in a lot of different areas. You've had to reinvent yourself so many different times.
Yeah. I have one good point, because I like a designer, and then the part is easy for me. Not because it's easy, because I like it, I love it, and I think I move everything in the house, and people like it. People like it, what I do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Your rehab houses are insane. They come out stunning every single time.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome. They
Thank
are
you.
gorgeous. Yeah. She knows how to flip a house, ladies and gentlemen. There's
Thank you so
no
much.
denying that. Yeah. And you've done small houses, you've done multi-million-dollar homes, like the works, and they always come out gorgeous.
At the beginning, I start with everything. I say I take everything.
Mm-hmm.
But later, with the time and with the results, I was picking what I want to. For example, I don't like work with townhouses. I don't like work with association. I don't like work with that. If I have the opportunity to buy another kind of house, I don't do that because single family is my favorite. I think a single family makes you feel more comfortable, and also you can work fast. You can work even if you need for a rush or for something you need to work in the weekends. You are allowed to. And then I think I see it in the single family, and all the time I have my targets. The first years I make one, and the second year I make four. Later I make 8, and 1 year I make 30 at the time. 30 property in 1 year. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot. I remember that year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was a crazy year, and that was a very good year for me, and for the people who work for me too, because I care. I care the workers.
Mm-hmm.
When I say that because when I go to bed at night, I think in all these people who work with me. I feel responsible because they take food, they take money to their family, and sometimes I feel like this is my own family.
Was there a moment in time when you started to gain your success and build momentum in your new career that you looked back and said, I'm never going back to the old way that I was, like the old version of myself? This is where I want to be.
Yeah, I don't wanna go back anytime. No, I don't want to.
At any stage.
No.
Every time you've reinvented yourself, you're
Yes.
better and better and better.
Better and better. When I wake up every morning, I have my routine, but my focus has to be better than yesterday.
Of course.
And then when you think in that way, nothing can stop you.
Okay, so a fun question for you. We're going to wrap this up, but I ask every guest on the show. Imagine, a death row meal. So you're in jail, you're in prison, and you get the last meal of your life. What is it going to be?
I am in jail, and it's my last moment because they want to kill me. Mm-hmm. That's the question.
That's what a death row meal is. It's the last meal of your life.
That's my
Not that you're
last
ever
meal.
going to jail, but
No, but I can imagine. Okay, my last meal.
yeah, put yourself in that zone. The last meal that you ever get, and it can be anything that you want it to be.
Okay, my last would be 2 things. Pray.
For your meal.
No.
Pray for your life. Please don't kill me.
Pray for my next life, or pray for the resurrection. And I would like to tell my kids that never, ever, nothing was before then.
Mm-hmm.
They was my priority. I want to tell them that they are my priority in every single day, in every single second in my life.
And then that's amazing. And then what do you want to eat?
What I want to eat. I don't want to eat.
No, so I ask everybody, every guest on my show, what their last meal is. So, and this is just like some random thing that came about when I was in Dallas with one of my girlfriends, Lazel, and we had such a fun moment in time that I was like, I'm asking every single person that's a guest on my show what their death row meal is. So, and I'm not going to disclude you, even though it's a question that you probably don't want to answer.
It's part of your show, I understand.
Yeah, it's just a fun random question. I think it says a lot about a person, personally, what their death row meal is, but everybody has a different answer, obviously. So it's the last meal. It's the last plate of food that you get to eat. Could be anything you want. What is it going to be?
If you ask me about dessert, would be better.
Yeah, you can have dessert, whatever you want. Mine's like a 7-course meal. It's embarrassing. So go ahead.
I think at that time I am not hungry, but I can accept the dessert, and that will be an avocado.
Affogato. That's a great answer. I should have been able to guess that. I feel like I could have guessed that. That's
Really?
a really good answer.
Yes.
Affogato. Because then you got your espresso. I knew there was going to be espresso in there somewhere. So you got both. You got your dessert, you got your ice cream, and your affogato.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss. I love it. Great choice. Next, you get to ask me anything. You get to ask me a question. Also can be anything that you want.
Okay, Savannah. I would like to ask you, what is the biggest challenge that you has been taken in your life, and why?
The biggest challenge of my life? Oh my gosh. I don't even know where I would begin. Biggest challenge of my life. I would say one of the biggest challenges of my life was choosing change. So when I moved to South Florida, I was 19 years old and I had no plan. There was no plan. I was on the non-plan plan. I had no idea what I was doing. I just completely uprooted my life and changed.
It's like an immigration, right?
Yeah, kind of. Not as difficult as an intense as your situation was, but yeah, it was a fish out of water. So I just took a leap of faith. I broke up with my boyfriend at the time. I told my family I was leaving, told all of my friends, and within 3 weeks I had packed up my car and drove south. And I think it was scary because there were so many times that I wanted to turn around. Like I wanted to go back, even just driving, but within the first month of being in South Florida, it's a shell shock. It's different. Like, and I've always handled things like that pretty well, but I knew home was always there. So in the back of my mind, it was like a safe space. Like, well, I can go back to Montana. I can leave whenever I want. I don't have to stay.
I understand.
But I just decided to keep pushing forward. So I think my relationship with myself was the challenging part because I wanted to go back to my safe place. I wanted to go home. But something happened within me where I just challenged myself to stay. And I just kept moving forward. And 8 years later, 9 years later, almost 10 years later, I'm still in South Florida. I did go back to Montana at one point, but I chose that I didn't want to be in South Florida anymore. And then I got offered a job to come back here, which is why I'm still here. But that's not the point. The point is that I think, moving across the country at 19 with no plan, just totally off the cuff, that was a big risk for me.
It was a big challenge.
It was a really big challenge.
Years old lady.
It was scary, but it was the best scary I could have imagined. And I know I could do it again. If I was in a situation where I had to, I think that uprooting your life and choosing something completely different, you don't know anyone, you don't know what you're going to do or where you're going to be or who you're going to turn out, like you're just going. I think it was the scariest thing that I've ever done, one of the scariest things I've ever done, but also totally worth it. It was very empowering because, like you don't know what you're capable of until you just dive into it.
Indeed.
I didn't give myself a fail-safe. There was no plan B. it was this little voice in my head, like, you can go home if you want to. But then my personality was like, I'm not going home. I have to figure this out. And I did. So I think that was a huge challenge for me, leaving everything that I knew and creating something completely different out of like from scratch paper. So yeah, leaving Montana and moving across the country was a big one of the biggest challenges of my life.
Wow, thank you so much for answering this question to me. And also congratulations, because I think a woman has a big power in life. And one more time, when you try to do something, you can do it.
I just have one last question for you, and it's really a question for our listeners. So for the women of the show, or the men, but for our listeners, for the people who are standing in their rock bottom right now and scared to change or scared to grow or scared to reinvent themselves, what is your message to them based on your experience in life? What would you tell those people right now?
I will tell those people that never stop. Believe in yourself, because tomorrow is another day. When you get tired, move forward. When things are not going good, make it in the good way. Be yourself and do not stop.
It's great advice. Take it from her, ladies and gentlemen. Rachel Licciardino has reinvented herself several times. She's made it to South Florida. She's an American citizen now, and she's completely flipped the script on what it means to be who you are and bet on yourself and follow your dreams, chase your dreams. You can literally create them, just like you have.
Yeah, so one more thing that I would like to tell the people is follow rules. Get the discipline as a part of your life. Do right things, because in life, everything that you do is come back to you. Saying that, I think the best for you is be yourself and prove yourself that you are allowed to do whatever you want to do. Mujeres, no paren, sigan adelante, que ustedes sí pueden. I have to say something in Spanish. Para aquellas o aquellos que no hablan inglés, sí se puede. Yo personalmente, como una madre soltera y una mujer, les digo que no se detengan, que todo lo que sueñan, que todo lo que piensan en su mente, lo pueden lograr. No se detengan, que Dios las bendiga. Si yo pude, tú puedes.
Vámonos. Yeah?
Yeah.
You did great. Thank you. Yes.
You're very welcome.
You're living proof. Your next chapter could be your best one yet. So don't be afraid to leave. Like Rachel Licciardino, you've totally crushed it. Thank you so much for being on the show. I loved having you. You did an amazing job.
Thank you so much, Savannah, for inviting me to Federal.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. Where can our listeners find you after the show? You're on social media.
I am, yes.
Yeah.
I have an Instagram and also Facebook. And yeah.
Rachel Licciardino. Your Instagram handle is
at Rachel Licciardino.
Yep. And I'll tag all of that stuff below for you guys. If you liked this episode, if you feel like you know somebody who would benefit from hearing this, or you want to reach out to Rachel or learn more about her business or how she got here or what she's doing in her day-to-day, follow her at Rachel Licciardino on Instagram, or you can look her up on Facebook as well. Like I said, I'll link everything in the show notes below. Give us 5 stars. Let us know what you think. Shoot me an email at feral@savannahmontana.com. Follow me at Savannah_Montana, or follow the show at Feral with Sav. We'd love to hear any of your comments, questions, concerns. Don't be afraid to reach out. I will see you next week. So until then, thank you for being here and stay feral. the fuck I think I am. You got a minute? Wow. It's probably more fun if you roll your R's, give it 2 R's.
Feral, no.
I like it.